again, everybody. It's Todd Staruch, the Horror Nerd, here at New Jersey HorrorCon and Film Festival in Edison, New Jersey. It's day one. I am having a great time so far. As I am fond of saying, I am just a fan who gets to do cool stuff. Speaking of cool stuff, I am sitting here once again with makeup and effects legend, Academy Award winner Ve Neill. V, how are you?
I'm great, Todd. Nice to see you again.
Likewise. It's been a little while.
Yeah,
and you have been busy.
As usual.
Good. Busy is good.
It is.
So,
it's terrific.
What's new? What are you working on these days?
Well, let's see. I just finished a little horror film that I did with some friends of mine last year called The Wolf and the Lamb, and I believe it should be out this summer. I'm not positive, but we're doing the visual effects on it right now, and I'm actually hosting my own convention in California, March 14th through the 16th. I'm going to give it a little plug, shall I?
Yes, do it.
Here we go. It's Ve Neill Vampire Weekend, and we are going to be showing a sizzle reel at that convention for the film. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Fantastic.
So I did the makeup effects, and I was one of the producers.
Excellent.
It was fun.
Cool. So you are still obviously very active in the business. What keeps driving you to keep going?
Well, I'm actually retired from doing films in general because, as I tell my friends, I'm retired from getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Fair enough.
Now, I still do all kinds of stuff with friends. You know, I help out. You know, I have a lot of students that I've helped with do all their films as well. But like I said, I'm doing my own convention now, and I did a film last year. But you know, now I'm doing the things that I want to do, not that I have to do.
Got it.
So that is always a pleasure once you've retired. It's like I said to my friends, I said, oh my God, I retired. I'm busier now than I was when I was working. It's like, how did I ever have time to work?
Right.
It's crazy.
So I was telling some friends earlier that the last time we spoke, we were doing the interview, and all of a sudden a little voice in my head said, hey, Todd, you realize you're sitting and talking to someone who's won 3 Academy Awards? And I'm like, yes, indeed. But so I look at your photos here, like let's just talk about Hunger, we'll think about Hunger Games, whatever it might be. What was one of your most challenging work experiences?
People ask me that. It's funny. I think it's like once you know how to do something, it doesn't seem like anything's all that challenging. But then I've never done, a lot of stuff with big creature suits where you have a lot of moving parts and stuff. I mean, the most I ever did was like on Galaxy Quest when I did the Sarah's character, because I did get to operate him. That was fun.
Gotcha.
But that was a lot of moving parts in that. But that was pretty much figured out by Stan Winston's guys ahead of time. So my job was just putting it together and making it, work visually for the guys without running all the cables and everything. But probably, maybe the most challenging would have just been on Mrs. Doubtfire. And it wasn't because the makeup was hard to do, but I actually did that makeup 54 times on Robin.
Wow.
And it had to be exactly the same every time. And, and as an artist, you kind of get tired of doing the same thing repeatedly. So, but you have to be diligent. You have to make sure that it looks the same because everything has to match. Because we could shoot something this month, and next month we're in a different location, and he walks through a door, and I can't have more blush on him, or I can't have, you forgot to put more lipstick on. So, I mean, it had to be a carbon copy of it every single day.
Wow, 55. I think you told me that the last time, and that just blew me away.
Yeah.
But so speaking of Mrs. Doubtfire, once I got into like indie filmmaking myself and saw how things are done, like up close. So the scene where he's like running back and forth between being him and being Mrs. Doubtfire. How realistic was that, really, of trying him
I tell you what,
to put that makeup on that quickly?
It was kind of like that. I mean, because we had to figure out, okay, where can we do this to make this work? And it was that was challenging because we had to make it look like that's what was happening. So we had to figure out a way to make sure whatever scene we shot, it was at that particular floppiness or whatever, and how is it going to come off, and how is he doing it back and forth. We obviously shot all the stuff without him in makeup and with him in makeup, but all the transitional stuff was where it got tricky. So we had to work all that out ahead of time. But yeah, that was fun. Oh my God, we laughed our asses off that day. Oh my goodness. And I think we were at that restaurant for like almost 2 weeks shooting that scene.
Wow.
because there was so much dialogue and then all
Yeah.
the different transition things, and so it was pretty wild.
I will tell you what, I remember exactly where I was. I was with my daughter. We were on a road trip in Baltimore when she was young. We used to do a road trip every year. We were in the lobby of the hotel when we heard the news that Robin had passed. My daughter was only 10 at the time, and she was visibly upset.
Oh.
It was one of the few actors where I really felt it like that.
Yeah,
you
and
know
I
what
was
I mean?
very sad when I found out. Oh my God, I cried for months because they would always have some tribute to him or some reference to him, and I would just I wouldn't even be thinking about it. My eyes would just start watering. I would just start weeping because he was so kind and he was such a wonderful man. And I mean, for, every year, no matter where I was, if I saw him on a lot, he would ride his bike over. Oh, V's here. I'm going to go say hi. His makeup artist was a friend of mine who did him for all of his regular films. And she would always say, oh, Robin wants to make sure I say hello to you. So it was like we stayed in contact via whatever means it was. But he was so kind and such a wonderful giving man and so respectful of the craft and just everything that you would hope he would be and more.
Awesome.
So I was really, really upset when he passed.
Yeah.
And to find out he was suffering so much, I had no idea.
Yeah, it seems like I use the word clown in a loving way.
I know, yes.
Like the clowns, it always seems like they're the ones suffering the most underneath.
Yeah, and it's,
you know what I
it's
mean?
bizarre. In a million years, I never would have known, that he had such, troubles in his life.
Yeah.
But it's something you don't discuss with a lot of people.
Yeah, sure. Was Robin always Robin, like in personal interactions? You understand what I mean, like that, right?
He was, but he was pretty great. And people said, well, how'd you get him to sit still for so long? But I literally, I might have told you this the last time as well. I took a door off of one of the cupboards up above, like when you're looking in the mirror, there's cupboards behind us. So I took a door off and put a monitor up behind us. And we would play movies every day. And I just play movies for him to watch every day.
Wow.
And it would just
That's
keep
cool.
him calm. And I was really amazed to find out that he had not seen a lot of the classic films, So we showed him all these old classic films, and he was just like a little kid, like, wow, I'm surprised I've never seen this. He hadn't seen Sunset Boulevard. He hadn't seen Citizen Kane. I mean, all the really classic Hollywood movies. So he got to see all those. And, when you watch a lot of movies if you do your makeup.
Yeah, for that. Yeah, I can only imagine,
So it was fun.
Yeah, that is so cool.
Yeah.
So just one last question, V. My daughter and I watched Face Off religiously. And she, for a while, was self-teaching herself how to do some special
Right.
effects and stuff. So what was that like mentoring people and just having to judge people like that? People who are trying to fulfill their dreams, and now you have to tell someone like,
Well, what I found was you can always see something good even in a disaster. You know what I mean? So if I had to tell them their makeup sucked, I would always try to find something good about it first. Like, I love the colors that you used. I can see where you were going. But goddamn, you failed horribly on this one. What the hell happened? What But I can see where you're trying to go. Maybe if you did this next time, it would come out better. So I always try to, encourage them and not make them feel so bad about telling them that their stuff was shit, basically.
listen, sometimes you got to, right?
But most of the time they knew when it was terrible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'd be looking at me going, "Yeah, we know it sucks. We know it sucks." Okay.
Yeah.
But
I got you.
Maybe Glenn wouldn't have been so nice, but I tried to find something good in everything, just so a little bit of encouragement. You don't have to devastate somebody just because
Sure.
they messed up. Because, like I said, most of the time they knew when they messed up.
Exactly. We would joke, my daughter and I, because we both met you and then we both met Glenn, and you were always like the nice one, and Glenn was like the Simon Cowell of the panel. So good for you.
And by the way, at my convention on Sunday, we're having a huge face-off panel. Mackenzie's going to be there. Patrick Totopoulos, Neville will be there. Glenn will not be there. He didn't respond to me, so whatever.
Okay, fair enough.
But I have about 10 of the original artists that were on the show. and some of them have really amazing success stories to tell. And I also have, I think I have 4 of the models, so they can talk about what it was like being put into these makeups all
Cool.
the time. So it should be a really fun event to see on that Sunday. So
Nice.
we're going to have fun doing that too.
Awesome. V, thank you again
You're
for a few
welcome.
minutes of your time.
Absolutely.
It really is a thrill for me to get to
thank
talk
you.
to you. I mean
Thanks.
that. Someone with these accomplishments who is also just a regular person, as I like to put it. You are a pleasure to talk to, and I
Completely
appreciate
regular.
that. Yeah. All right. Ve Neill, everybody, here at New Jersey HorrorCon and Film Festival in Edison, New Jersey. This is Todd Staruch, the Horror Nerd, signing off. We will see all of you in the next interview.